Hey everybody, peace and blessings to you. Thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Letitia. I am a 42-year-old millennial mom, homeschooling, home managing mom of 5 children, immigrant living in the US. I am an idealist, infj, empath, agnostic, progressive, light worker, energy reader, poet, writer, inspirer, New Earth messenger, and so much more. And this is going to be a video that I'm recording on March 30th. It is kind of like a documentation video. It is called Flip the Screen. This is one of my flip the screen videos where I flip the phone. One of something like that. Flip the phone. It is one of my videos in which I turn the phone towards my computer or towards my computer, and we talk about some of the things that, the headlines. I'm not going to read the articles, but we talk about some of the headlines and some of the things that I am seeing on my computer when I log in. So this is my Firefox homepage, and the two things on this homepage that caught my attention. I'm not scrolling down because it wasn't my intention to really focus on my Firefox homepage, but the two things that caught my attention on my Firefox homepage is these two articles. Trump's FCC commissioner opens investigation into Walt Disney Co. and ABC for diversity policies. And that's I saw that already. I saw that headline pop up on my phone yesterday or sometime from the Ground News app that I get notifications from, and I just swiped it off my screen, and I said, of course they are, because America is currently in a period of fighting fascism, and the Trump is basically trying to get a seat at the dictator's table, because there are a lot of dictators in leadership right now in the world. Horrible, cruel, wicked dictators, authoritarians in leadership in the world right now. And it is the people against the authoritarians and the billionaires and the wealthy people, and it is the everyday people trying to survive and fight for their planet and fight the powers that are trying to control us and take our freedoms from us. It is the people versus that dark force of control, where they're willing participants like the Manchurian candidate that's in this picture right now, JD Vance. So here's the headline here. I ain't reading this article. Vance schools Denmark during Greenland trip as Trump says U.S. must have island. So, okay, those are the two things that stood out to me. On my Ground News app, I just got a notification saying that Trump says that he is considering ways in which to run for a third term. And again, I ain't clicking on that article, but of course, for anybody who absolutely was aware and have intelligence, anybody aware and have intelligence would have known that this is a fascist regime, and everybody that's a participant in it, all the people that are willing participants in the fascist regime, they are basically supporting that. It is the same kind of power grab and same kind of energy as in the 1930s, 1940s, World War II era, Hitler era. So it's the same energy. So it is to no surprise that, he was gonna try. He was gonna be a dictator. We all said he would, and I honestly believe that if not for the financial backing of Elon Musk and the propaganda backing of Russia, and the Russian government, and Putin, if not for the propaganda backing of the Russian regime and the financial backing of the billionaires, especially Elon Musk, and then the willingness the of the rat party, the Republican Party, the rat party as I call it, and the cult following, all a perfect storm of willing participants that basically threw humanity and threw the planet and the world under the bus for their own selfish, greedy reasons. For greed and selfishness and ideology of and the ideology and belief that they get to control humanity and they get to have the power over the people, and people can't have power over themselves because they don't like the choices that we make, or they don't like how we love, how people love, and they don't like all that stuff. And it is what it is. And when I say it is what it is what it is, as in they are who they are. But now we gotta figure out, how do we fight for our freedom? How do we get our freedom back? So I did listen. I didn't read it, but I did listen to one Substack today. And a good idea, a good way to get on understanding, to read energy, is the titles of the substats that come out on any given day. When certain titles tell me, like, what's the main topic of conversation, what are we talking about, what is going on, how people are feeling, because a lot of these substat titles basically give us an idea of where the energy is. The Substack I read this morning was from Lincoln Square. I'm trying to see if I see it, but I am not. Let's just pause a minute. This one this morning from Lincoln Square Media by Rick Wilson, and it is What We Lost with Trump. And I didn't read it, but I listened to it, and it was him listing the things. It was an excerpt from his book, Everything Trump Touches Dies. It was a 2018 book. I've never read that book, but I've always wanted to, and I hope to read it sometime. But there's so many things to read, so many things to take in. I just never read that book. But I always, like I said, I always want to, and the title of that book had always stuck with me. Everything Trump Touches Dies. And the title of the Substack is What We Lost with Trump. Everything Trump touches dies becomes more true every day. And this is such a good one. And he has leadership. He lost leadership, dignity, truth and facts, vision, optimism, focus, unity. And this is a very thoughtful and well written Substack. Like I said, I think it is an excerpt from his book, Everything Trump Touches Dies. And I don't always get to read the Substacks. I don't, because as I often say, I don't even get to write as many Substacks as I want. As I often say, I am trying to do so many things at once, and I can't do them all. I was hoping to talk about some of the titles here in the Substack, but there's nothing that is calling to me here that I want to talk about. In the Substack, but usually I get a good vibe and an understanding of where the energy is from the Substack titles, and every once in a while I pick something, and today I picked something, and I picked the one that I just said, so I recommend that. Everything What We Lost with Trump, very good, very thoughtful, very well written and well presented. And check this out. More massive protests against Erdogan in Turkey. Keep sharing these videos as X banning users in Turkey for doing such. Wow. It's the people versus the dictators, like I said. It's the people versus the dictators. I am stealing from you. This is JFK's grandson holding the perfect protest sign at the perfect place. This is emoji. This is something that I would like to read today. Oh, this is a video. I want to watch this. 20 lessons read by John Lithgow. And John Lithgow, during the Trump era, the first Trump era, the first Trump presidency, had some poetry collections that I love, that are so damn good, and so, because poetry has the ability to really capture things in a way, like sometimes without without so many words, just the right amount of words capture the point and the message of certain things. And I haven't been keeping up with John Lithgow, so I don't know if he published or put out more poetry lately, but I definitely enjoyed his two poetry books called, I think it was Trumpty Dumpty, and there were two different poetry books. Again, this is unplanned and random, so I don't remember the exact titles of the books, but he had two poetry books that I got the Audible versions to, and I enjoyed them so much. It was during the first Trump presidency. So Timothy Snyder is the author of the book that I often talk about, and the author of the words that I often share. Do not obey in advance. That is lesson number 1. In his 20 lessons, his On Tyranny 20 lessons. Let me get the book. On Tyranny, 20 lessons from the 20th century is Timothy Snyder. He's the author of that book, and that phrase, do not obey in advance. So when you hear me say that, I'm quoting Timothy Snyder. So I have other things to do. I just wanted to share that for the most part. This is somebody that I follow, Cliff Cash Comedy. You can find him practically everywhere: TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, everywhere. And he is like basically leading in the protests and leading in the righteous anger movement. The people that are angry, the people that getting people to stand up and come out and get in the streets and fight this fascism and fight the dictators, because protest is very, very important. It is important to be seen. It is important to be heard. And I am so, I keep Cliff Cash Comedy in my prayers. His last name is not Comedy, but I don't know what his whole name is, but his accounts are Cliff Cash Comedy. Okay, so this is a protest. This is he did a little thing of all the different protests that he organized. So, watch that somewhere. You can find that on YouTube. Cliff Cash Comedy, YouTube. It's here on Substack. He's everywhere. Okay. The 5051 movement, I tell you all about that some regularly as well, and their website is 5050.1. Spell the words 5050.1. The 5050.1 movement, and April 5th nationwide protests. So that's, you see, there it is, 5050.1 nationwide protests on April 5th. Protests matter. Prayers matter too. And I am not going to be a protester, as I said, in terms of getting out in the street, but I will be a prayer, and I will put my prayers and my light out and pray for the protection of these people, pray for the courage and the protection of these people. Protesters perform a die-in outside the Tesla showroom in NYC against Dodge, Elon Musk, and President Trump. That is shared by Krasestein. I follow them everywhere too. Substack. Cruelty is the point. Whoa, what is this? These are the trucks that Trump refused to give groups in our various states for the poor. Must remove all the money from the U.S. aid program around the world, including here. The truck drivers were frantic because all the food was rotting. This is the Trump must regime. This is a Trump must regime of unfit, evil morons who mock the poor. They both are going to meet their fate one day, and no one is going to fucking care. I agree. I will celebrate. I will celebrate. If I outlive these people, I will celebrate their leaving the planet. Truth matters. So say hello to Charlotte. Senator Chris Murphy takes question from Charlotte. This was the day when humanity, empathy, and innocence of childhood paid a visit to the dark world we now inhabit, to set an example to the monsters tearing this nation and its values apart. Chris Murphy, salute you, sir. Okay, let's turn on the volume on that one. Okay, let's turn on the volume. Aww.
That was like the most beautiful question I've ever heard. Because what you said is that you're thinking every single day of other kids, right? Of kids who might not have it as good as you, right? And when we think about why we exist in this world, right? We exist in this world to help other people, don't you think? Yeah, to help people who are less fortunate than us. And I think why all these people are here today is because they want to live in a world where we have a government that looks out for everybody, right? That looks out for everybody, regardless of what race you are, or what religion you are, or how much money you have. That we have a government that respects everybody. And everybody in this room here can decide when they go home tonight how much energy they're going to put in trying to fight for that world. And I bet you, because of your question, because you were so bold and gracious to stand up here on behalf of the other kids that go to your school, I bet you everybody in this room is going to work a little bit harder to make that kind of world that you're asking us to live in.
Amen. 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 All right, so I am out of battery life. I have 20% battery left, and I have other things to do as well. So what is this? I cannot get enough of the hilarious way Greenland sent just dumb and his wet blanket wife home after 4 hours and never leaving the military base. Just 3 hours after arriving in Greenland. Wow. What is wrong with these people? Okay, so what's this one? Indivisible. I'm not subscribed. Indivisible. Subscribe now. This is another group to pay attention to. If you sometimes I don't understand, what are you subscribing to? You like subscribing to more than one thing when it comes to like these things. Anyway, on Substack. why we're taking on the streets on April 5th. Okay, so hopefully maybe I'll get to read that. Y'all, I keeping us, the people, in our prayers. I am keeping my vibration high. I am working on my YouTube channel. I am building, I am forming my own community. I am letting my light shine. I'm putting my voice out. I am doing my best, and I am a part of the resistance. I'm resisting the dark. I'm resisting the lies. I'm resisting the hate. I'm resisting the ugly. I'm resisting going back. I'm resisting all that negative, low vibrational energy. And I am doing the work day by day, the best way I could think of, using my ideas, using my time in the best way that I come up with, and doing my best. One more day, one day at a time. Ukraine stands. We're still here. Please don't look away. Not looking away. Not looking away. Okay. Mindful news. Make it clear. Listen, but don't attach. Care, but don't control. Trust, but don't depend. Learn, but don't imitate. Encourage, but don't push. Dream, but don't escape. I love it. I want to repeat that again. This is from an account called Mindful News. Make it clear. Make it clear. Listen, but don't attach. Care, but don't control. Trust, but don't depend. Learn, but don't imitate. Encourage, but don't push. Dream, but don't escape. I love it. I love it. Love it. Dream. Dems might. The anti-Tesla protests are just getting bigger and bigger. Wow. And somebody quoting Chris Murphy. The White House has become, Senator Chris Murphy, the White House has become an arm of the Kremlin. This is my senator. I'm going to tell you that. And that will tell you what state I live in. And that's all I'm going to tell you. Chris Murphy is my senator. Monopoly power is crushing the soul of America. 100%. Go Greenland. Do not give up beautiful Scandinavian democracy for Russian-like oligarchy. I would like to offer a heartfelt thank you to the people of Greenland for not putting up with J.D. Vance and his wife. 100%. All right. Got to get ready to. Alarming voting pattern emerges from the 2024 presidential election. All right, I will look into what that is, what this article is about. Trump is an imposter. This too shall pass, but he must be rejected and ejected before he kills the country. Don't turn against the entire country because of an imposter, but instead eject him. Trump is a traitor and a criminal, and he hacked the election. 100% I agree with that. He lost. I agree with that. Impeach him, disqualify him, arrest him, contain him. And I think that I gotta get ready to go. Gotta go. Okay, let's do 2 or 3 more. Julie Frattanoni, PhD. Sometimes you don't need to change anything. You just need to keep going. Consistency is greater than talent. Amen. Stop ignoring yourself. Mindful news. Stop ignoring yourself. Fix your posture. Get a fresh haircut. Take care of your skin. Drink water. Eat food that gives you energy. Get fit. Stop looking sloppy. When you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you do good. Put in the effort. Invest in yourself. It's good for your energy. I concur with that. Lynn. America is so broken now that they want us to believe a student op-ed is a risk to our national security while using signal for war for war plans is not. Ain't that the truth? All right, it is time to go. It is time to go. Lord knows it is time to go. Goodness knows when this is going to be posted. Don't know when this video is going to be posted, but this is just a documentation of what is what, the energy, and what I'm seeing on my screen. And I was using Substack today as my social media focus. And I also do this on YouTube sometimes, and I do this on Blue Sky. It is good to have an idea of what other people are seeing based on who they're following, and what the people they're following, what their algorithm is sending them, and what the people they're following is posting. And I love that I have shaped my algorithm in a beautiful pro-democracy, light-filled, truth-filled, wonderful way that even when I receive horrible news and effed up stuff, they're kind of filtered in a kind of way with optimism and truth, and you are not alone kind of energy. And let's kick their ass, and let's beat them. Let's beat back fascism, and let's win this war kind of energy. So, all right, last two. Linda will not obey. People who vote Republican don't give a shit about the environment. They voted to have their food and water poisoned. They voted to have small farmers put out of business. Some of the dumbest fucks on the planet. I concur with that as well. This is somebody sharing Late Song with Jessica Denson. I listen to Late Song with Jessica Denson once in a while. She is one of my favorite podcasts, but like I said, I just can't. I can't listen to everybody. I can't. He knows those vote counting computers. Help verify the vote for election 2024. And that is, I'm assuming that is her a podcast, supporting Election Truth Alliance. I hope that you guys are playing. If you are like me and you 100% know intuitively and just with common sense, just bloody well common sense, you know that this guy, along with the other things that I mentioned in this video, this guy helped Trump steal an election, and that these results are not accurate results, and that the Lotus Queen actually did win the election. You know that with every fiber of your being, and you just want people to join in the pursuit of that truth, and you want people to catch up, and you want people to not accept those results, and to get the truth out and catch up. Then you gotta follow Election Truth Alliance on YouTube and in other places, but on YouTube, Election Truth Alliance. I think that's the name of the website too, electiontruthalliance.com. And I gotta go. I gotta go. Thank you for watching. Love, peace, and blessings. Why did I do that? Love. Thank you for watching. Love, peace, and blessings.